Okay, this is our condensing unit, and it's about 7 years old. So this equipment is engineered on paper to last 20 years, and it might last 30 years. I'm not just going to, condemn it on its 20th birthday. But Las Vegas, okay, they're going to give you 14 years for this type of equipment. After 14 years, this has done just about everything anybody ever expected to do. In North Texas, 14 years is old for an air conditioning system. And this one works double duty. It's a heat pump system too. But it's 7 years old. The electric disconnect is not supposed to be located behind the unit. It's not supposed to be located behind the unit. And the refrigerant piping, okay, 7 years ago this insulation was not acceptable on the refrigerant piping. That's why they wrapped the tape around it, little cloth tape, trying to fix it. See, like it's not going to wear out. No, that's the wrong type of insulation around your refrigerant piping. 7 years ago, when this was installed, our refrigerant access ports, our Schrader valves, look that up in the dictionary, our refrigerant piping service valve caps, okay, those are supposed to be anti-theft caps, and they're not. Okay, so now the refrigerant inside of this system is 410A. It was the cat's meow when it was installed. 410A was as good as it gets, but 410A is no longer being manufactured, no longer being legally imported in the United States. And do they have stockpiles of 410A? You bet they do. They do have stockpiles of it. Okay, but that valve, this is a heat pump, that valve right there, they no longer make them. So, I mean, they can sell a whole condensing unit off the shelf. And there's nothing illegal about using it. That's not what I'm saying. But they don't make those valves anymore. They don't make the refrigerant anymore. Okay, anything that has to do with 410A, they'll make a fan motor, but as this stuff, and they have whole units for sale that are 410A legally. But when all this equipment, when all these parts and all that refrigerant, when it all leaves the shelf, it's not being replaced. So very possible that in 2 years that valve might be very expensive or even irreplaceable. So it's kind of hamstrung. It's obsolete by design. So we're going to see how it works. But I want to speaking of seeing how it works, I'm just going to check the operation. I don't do value, I don't do volume, I don't do capacity, I don't do any engineering calculations. But this house is, 2,000 square feet, and it's got a 5-ton unit. More is not always better. More is not always better, because if it cools the house down too fast and it starts and stops, it's like start and go traffic. Your energy bill is actually going to go up because it starts and stops. And when it does that, it also is conducive to moisture. So if you have art on your walls or something like that, I mean, it has a potential to create humid conditions inside of the house. So, and it will start and stop fast, because everything in your house is a battery. Your couch is a battery. Everything stores heat. This comes in, cools the house straight down, and then turns off. And then everything that is collecting heat, including the windows, it comes back. Insulation, if the insulation's lacking in the attic, all that heat goes to it, thermostat kicks right back on. And there it starts doing that cycling I'm talking about, that short cycling about the heat. Now, do I know that this unit is too big for the house? I do not know 100% for double sure that it is too small for this structure, because I don't do those things. But I'm telling you, my experience suggests that this unit might be oversized for its application.